This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there, live.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the September edition of MWF Extra. It's the first of our new monthly series of Cauliflower Alley Club segments, and I'm pleased to introduce to you, of course, longtime guest, the Executive Vice President of the Cauliflower Alley Club, Carl Lauer, along with one of professional wrestling's all-time greats, Hall of Famer Nick Bockwinkle. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Bockwinkle here. Carl Lauer here.
Well, we've had a lot of technical problems tonight, but we've overcome it, and it's going to be a heck of an interview. Carl, maybe talk about what's the latest in the Cauliflower Alley Club as we head into the reunion, and then, of course, Nick can chime in with some of his end, as he's a Las Vegas man himself.
Well, without Nick, I'll tell you, our Las Vegas events would never have come off, because when we decided to go to Vegas, Nick lives there, and right away he stepped right in and kind of became the chairman of handling these events. And Nick, tell him just a little bit what it takes to put these on. It's a lot of work, and we know it. I call myself the concierge of fine artifacts, and then the definition of that really means that I'm in charge of storage and hauling. And we have a lot of pictures and different articles that we have in storage here in a storage facility that we bring out every year. And I think the people really enjoy them because, there must be at least, I would say, about 20 7 foot by 3 foot placards, all with individual pictures of wrestlers going as far back as the Cauliflower Alley Club was when it was established. And it's fun just to peruse all of these people, and it's just to see so many of them that you knew, and so many that you heard of, but maybe you yourself never had the opportunity to see them. And that's basically what I take care of. Carl makes me sound like I'm a lot more important than I am. That's not true. If I didn't have old Nick and Scott Hosey and in the early days Scott Compton, well, I'll tell you, I'd have been flying back and forth to Vegas an awful lot. And one of the highlights of our reunion is what we call the Wall of Fame. We have, what would you say, about somewhere between 300 and 400 vintage pictures, some never seen anywhere else in the world except on our boards. That's true. That's very true. You talked about Scott Hosey, who sets up the thing for all of those people who want to come and buy a table, and that money that they buy the table for them to put up their wares with artifacts, books that they've written, or things that they've got on maybe their website, and Scott's the guy in charge of that, and I'm glad he is, because I'd screw it all up. Yeah, we kind of call that the nostalgia fair, and it's amazing how much this actually raises, not only just for the club, but for those that come and get a table. Terry Funk sold out, I forget, I might exaggerate slightly, but somewhere between 8 and 10 cases of his books and all of his sweatshirts in the first day.
That's amazing.
And Neil Moskers, when he came 2 years ago, didn't expect much, bought 4 or 5 cases of stuff. With an hour, everything he had, they wanted to buy the clothes off his back. So it is fun, and the wrestlers that come out pick up a few dollars to pay their expenses, and they always make nice contributions to the club, and 100% of the nostalgia fair goes into our benevolent fund.
Well, that's absolutely tremendous, Carl. You know what I think about the Benevolent Fund. We've done raffles of our own up here in the MWF in New England. It's just the Cauliflower Alley Club, a tremendous organization, the goodwill that it provides to the world of professional wrestling, a world that sometimes doesn't have a lot of goodwill to go around.
Well, we sure try hard.
There's also the other element, and that is that those people who come, a lot of them, of course, are relatives or loved ones, but then at the same time, there's a lot of hardcore, very, very dedicated fans, and that have been around, my good gracious, I mean, for 40 years or or more. And I mean, it's fun for me just to see somebody like one of the people on our board, Joyce Paulson. Joyce Paulson I've known since 1970. And here we are, you know, so I'm looking at 36 years, and now she's part of the organization. And there's just so many people all over the country. You know, George Shire, he's one of the people on our board as well. Him and a fellow by the name of Nick Karch came to me way back in 1971, and they said, we'd like to start a fan club for you. And I said, well, I'll give you the parameters. I said, I'll give you no money. I will be totally uncooperative. I will not really pay any attention to you whatsoever. And I said, if you can live with that, go to it. Damn it to hell, they did it for almost about 26, 27 years. They shut me right up.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, so I mean, so there's tremendous dedication to so many people who come to Cauliflower Alley Club, other than the wrestlers and the officials and their relatives.
Well, as Carl has said on this program many times, and I agree with the sentiment 100%, if you go once, you'll never want to miss another reunion.
That's true. That's true, because everybody's there to express and share in the joy and the camaraderie and the storytelling. You know, the storytelling, of course, you know, I think that's maybe the last time they're going to get to exaggerate something.
Well, especially at a wrestling function. Now, Nick, especially you attend a lot of the Legends reunion type events. What is different between a Cauliflower Alley Club reunion and those that lean more towards photos and autographs for the fans?
I think the other are, I don't know, I would venture to say that with the Cauliflower Alley Club, as with the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame up in Amsterdam, New York, there's a tremendous, serious dedication going on there. And everybody that comes to either event, they're coming there with their heart and their soul. The same way with the Gulf Coast reunion. I have yet to attend it, and I hope I will be able to. But everybody that comes to this, they're coming because, so to speak, if I may use the expression, it's the boys. It's the guys who spent their lives going up and down those highways, traveling all over, getting body slammed, getting clotheslined, getting in cars after they blew out their knee and having to drive 500 miles back home from wherever they had to wrestle the night before, and getting home and being barely able to get out of the damn car, you know, and the compassion that we've all felt for each other, knowing that this is what every one of them suffered in some capacity or another, and there's a lot of just that compassion, empathy, and sympathy in that respect, and so it's nice to be able to see, quote, these guys after so many years, and you want to spend time with them on the road, you know, and it's just it's a very warm feeling, and I think that's what takes place, I think, both for the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame as well as the Cauliflower Alley.
Well, it's, like we said, an experience you'll never forget if you've never been. Hopefully you'll make your plans to be out at the Riviera Hotel this coming April 2007 for the 42nd reunion.
Let me ask Carl one thing. Plus, you also hear an awful lot of lies and a lot of BS, too.
That's right. I mean, you know, what is more fun than listening to the wrestlers tell the stories how they only wrestled main events and never put anybody over, right?
You don't mean that the guys would color something, do you?
Oh, well, no. I mean, you know, it's kind of fun to know that they were world champions and never lost. But we have so much fun. You know, the difference that I see between these, what I call Fan Fest, they're a for-profit organization. The boys get paid to go to there, and they sit and sign autographs for 3 days, and they get a payday, and the promoter gets 400 or 500 pictures signed, and they're sold for profit. And our organization is strictly more of a benevolent, get together, have a good time, and the only place where any money changes hands is at the Nostalgia Fair. And the amazing thing is watching the guys buy it and trade stuff from each other. Ox Baker, I think, traded half of his books for stuff that he could sell somewhere else from the guys.
Oh, from your lips to God's ears, believe me, we deal a lot with him up in this area.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this, Nick. This is always something that has piqued my curiosity. Well, one of Carl's recent visits to this program, he said from this day and age, there aren't a heck of a large percentage of active guys that you might see in WWE or TNA involved with the cauliflower. As one of wrestling's all-time greats, what got you interested in the CAC?
I think I was honored by the CAC when they were still in Los Angeles, and my father was part of the CAC, and being second generation, but then not, and it's most of the time in Los Angeles in Southern California for so many years, and consequently, and I was living in Minnesota, so at that time, and wrestling for the AWA, so it was hard for me to be able to participate in it very much. But I think, you know what I mean, it's the old story, no matter what profession you're in, whether you're in radio or television, the one thing I'd like to know is that who you are and what you are, and for what you did, respected, and possibly admired as well. But I think everybody enjoys the respect that they know they get by the people who come to the thing, and for all of the wrestlers who come, it's because we're expressing our respect and admiration for all our other compadres, and it's just. And that gives you a very good feeling, and so in that sense, it's fun to do that. And then, of course, you know, and enjoy all the lighter stuff. And like I like to say, it's amazing how some of the tales just expand themselves like a little bit of gaseous air, and the story gets better every year that people come.
Well, I've heard an embellishment or two myself in the time there, but that's just part of the fun.
Absolutely.
So, Carl,
especially since they can say, "Wait a minute! Now, last year you told me this," you know.
Well, the bodies have taken a beating, but the minds still work in a lot of areas.
Yeah, and especially the real imaginative part of the mind.
Well, it's a whole weekend of fun. Carl, the tickets are on sale now, I believe, for the banquet already in April.
Oh, yeah. In fact, I think we've got about the first 4 or 5 tables are already sold. And,
wow.
People are already looking forward to the new idea we're going to do on Friday night now. We're still going to have the traditional baloney blowout, but this year we're going to do a tribute to the Canadians, a special tribute to Owen Hart and the Hart family. Bob Leonard and all the Canadians are coming down, and I was just informed today that the Prime Minister of Canada is declaring April 21st official Cauliflower Alley Day for the entire country of Canada.
Wow, and you heard it here first. Unbelievable.
And we are going to be having all the Canadian wrestlers. Bob Leonard is just lining up a huge amount of these guys to come down, and Friday night it's going to be a tribute to the Canadians. We're going to have a Canadian MC, and it's just going to be a lot of fun, and they're going to tell road stories and just kind of work with each other and just have a lot of fun. And so that's something different, and every year we're going to make it a tribute. Every year we'll make it a different tribute night to either a territory, an old territory, or a nationality. So it should just be add a little bit more loose fun for everybody when they come, and an opportunity to ask questions and just be part of it.
I think that's a fantastic idea. It'll make each year's reunion a little different.
Right, and it'll attract the people from different areas. The Canadians are real excited about it. Of course, you know, Bob Leonard is one of our honorees this year, and Bob has done everything in the wrestling business, but he's really kind of like the godfather to the wrestlers in Canada.
Have we body slammed him yet?
Beg your pardon?
Have we body slammed him yet?
No, but you guys did me this last time. I mean, Dick Byers and Neil Mascaras. But
well, you know, there's those of you who've been around for all those years, like yourself, and you're definitely part of the profession in every capacity, from promoter to president of the organization. Actually, Carl is the executive secretary, and for all intents and purposes, he runs the whole damn thing. If he wasn't there, it might fall apart. You know,
well, I take all the heat. Let's put it that way.
Buyers and others, we just say, let Carl just stay healthy as he can stay and be.
Well, that would be a shame if anything like that ever came close to happening. Carl, many have said that you are the stick and glue that keeps the club together.
Well, it takes a lot of people to do it. You know, I try to do my share, and it is a labor of love, and I've enjoyed it for so many years. Lou Thesz was one of my closest friends, and Art Abrams, who actually had my job until he passed away. And you make a lot of friends in the club, and I've had some very, very close friends, and one of my dearest friends and one of Nick's dearest friends we want to mention is going to be getting the Lou Thesz Award this year. He's already confirmed he will be there, and that's Danny Hodge.
Wow, that'll be fantastic.
And the Lifetime Achievement Award this year is going to a guy that he's in every other Hall of Fame, and we did honor him several years ago up in Newton, Iowa, but Bob Geigel in the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Well, it's going to be a stacked lineup from top to bottom. We're just about
we headline with honorees like J.J. Dillon, Rock Riddle, Tito Carrion, Duke Myers, Laura Martinez, and then I just talked with the other day, the entire surviving family of Yukon Eric is coming in, including Eric Holmbeck Jr., Yukon's son. They're all coming in for when we posthumous award Yukon Eric.
Oh, that'd be interesting if Killer Kowalski's in attendance.
Yes, Killer Kowalski is going to make the presentation.
Wow, that's interesting, just for the historical purposes alone.
Just absolutely, just for the historical is right.
Well, we're just about out of time in this segment. It's been great having you guys on. Kyle, give us a little information again. We have the Cauliflower website graphic up as this interview has gone on. How can folks reach out to you about more information on the CAC and on the reunion itself? Well, a simple email to cac@bednet.com. Hopefully they'll go on our website, which is just caulifloweralleyclub.org. They can print a membership off over there, or they can call me. I take phone calls up to 10 o'clock at night, my time, Missouri time, and I return all phone calls, and I'll answer every email. And Nick Bockwinkle, again, one of wrestling's all-time greats. It was an honor to have you here on this program. What are you going to be busy doing between now and April to get things ready? Trying to find a way to beat my wife on the golf course. Easier said than done. He ain't kidding. His lovely wife, Darlene, beats him 9 out of 10 times on the golf course. More like, I hate to say 19 out of 20. And Nick, since you live out in Las Vegas, tell the people that maybe haven't been to Vegas yet, what can they expect once they get off the plane? It's quite an experience. You know, I mean, this is the adult Disney World, and if you can't find it here, then you're not going to find it anywhere. That's a good way to sum it up. Not only do you get to go to a Cauliflower Alley Club reunion, but to have it in Las Vegas too, it doesn't get much better than that. You got it. Well, guys, and we've also worked out several things with the hotel, 2-for-1 tickets for some of the shows there on the off nights, and we've got a lot of special surprises that are going to be planned, and the Iron Mike Award won't be announced until the day of the event, so there's a lot of surprises, a lot of fun, and we just hope everybody takes the time to come and enjoy it with us. Absolutely. We're just about out of time this month. Kyle, I can't wait to see what special guest you have next month. Nick, again, it was a pleasure to have you on this program. Any final thoughts before we go? Everybody stay healthy and take care.